Welcome everybody. Today's video finds us over here in Ayutthaya. And where we are is we're north of the old city island. We're on the Khlong Sra Bua, which is this canal right here. This used to be a major canal that went north of the old city island, and there was a series of settlements all along here with temples all through this whole area. Ayutthaya was a sprawling city back whenever it was the capital, before it was sacked and destroyed by the Burmese in 1767. Anyway, what we're going to look at is we're going to look at Wat Chao Ya, which is the grandmother's temple. The archaeological evidence points to this being first established in the early Ayutthaya era after 1351. There was a little bit of Khmer styling back in those days. Then they expanded it in the middle Ayutthaya and the late Ayutthaya. And it's a sprawling area. It actually is on two sides of the road. So let's walk through here and we'll see what we see today. Now you can follow this little canal up this way. There's other temples and stuff, and it just goes through the residential areas all through here. And check this out, we got some pigs out here in this field. And I saw some goats over that way when I came through here earlier. And you can see there's the little motorcycle selling some kind of food or whatever off the side. And we got some locals over here fishing in the canal. And then this is half of the temple on this side right here. So in the old days, you would have accessed this temple by the canal. So you would have came up here by boat and you would have got off. There would have been a pier built over here and you would have went to the temple. And then you could see the road over there, and the other part of the temple is on the other side. Now, I've came here before. It's been almost 3 years since I've been over here to this temple. And I went to a temple in Bangkok that had these cool meditation buildings, and it reminded me of this temple. There's two little meditation buildings on the other side of the road. We'll take a look at those when we get over there. And so I was like, oh, I haven't been to that temple in a long time, so here we are today. And then this is when you first come in. So you have this really cool like bell tower here. And you can see the Khmer styling up at the top, the little prong and stuff like that. Yeah, that is fantastic. So this is the old crystal wall, or the perimeter wall of the temple. And that has a little rail around it, so you could have walked up there on the platform. You can see they put the little pieces of glass and stuff like that in the plaster. Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah, and it's a nice, cool afternoon here. You got these guys over here that are fishing. You got the old lady that's fishing over here on the Salah. Yeah, really cool. And then you can see they just parked the van over here. That's probably the fishermen. They probably parked the van, taking a break and getting some, catching some dinner maybe. And it looks like they had a little small building over there that's just down to the base. And then this building right here, which is quite nice, still has most of the walls built. And you can see they've put the little shrines and stuff like that here. Yeah, so this is the belfry, or the Ho Rakang. And you see where they've came and burned the incense and everything. And then we'll take a look inside this building over here. So you can see on the west side, they had a little porch built over here. And it is bowed in the middle. So this would have been more of a late Ayutthaya style building. And it has the second story here. And it has the lotus bud arches right there that would have accessed the ground floor. And then you see the balcony here on the east side also. Now they just call this the building. It might have been a preaching hall. It might have been quarters. They're not exactly sure. It has the ordination hall already, which would have been used for the ceremonies. And you can see here how this is the second story, and then they would have had the floor built across those columns right there that are a little small. And then the second story up here where they've came back, they've restored up above the windows, but you can see the wood is kind of rotten away. Yeah, this is a fantastic building here. And you can see the plasterwork that they've restored. Yeah, this is definitely late Ayutthaya era. Like I said, there's 3 different eras of what they call architecture here in Ayutthaya. The early, when the city was first founded, and in the middle up to like the White Elephant War, and then the late Ayutthaya afterwards. All right, so here's the road that separates the 2 halves of the temple. So let's go over on this side and let's look around. And those 2 little meditation halls are right over there. That's the last thing we'll look at here at this temple. Yeah, so we have a small little building, and we have all the chetties right here. That chetty over there is kind of a kilter. And this one here is like the Sri Lankan style, the bell-shaped. And then over here, this would have been maybe this was the ordination hall here. I don't see any of the Buasima stones though. This is pretty cool. So this chetty here, they say the archaeological evidence points that it was built at the same time as Pra Sri Sampet, and that all these chetties were on the same base. This is kind of a cool building here with the little walkway and the rails with those bricks that are kind of making X shapes. And this is a cool little auxiliary chetty here. You see the steps up to it and how they have it wrapped still. You can see those redented corners and everything. You can see a little bit of the plasterwork. So the top would have went up in this style over here. You can see that one's missing the top also. And then this chetty here is down to the base. Yeah, this would have been a pretty cool site back when this was in use. You can see this would have had the little walkway around it and a little bit of the plasterwork, same as up there. And this one here is missing the top also. You can see the styling in there, the lotus flowers. And I kind of like this small little building. It's would have had just probably an image inside of it. I've seen buildings like this before that are still complete that have the roof on it. And I really like it, but this one here has 2 little windows. So they're just calling this building here the Buddha Images Shrine. So it's not the ordination hall like I thought. So this is 13 meters by 24 meters. And this is a different styling. You never see this with like the walkway with the crossed bricks. And then this would have been the solid walls inside of here. So it would have had a cool walkway. This would have been the entry over here. And then here's where the Buddha images would have been. So it looks like they've drug over part of the top of the chetty and put over here. And then they have the sandstone Buddha. And then you see the pedestal here, this like little half moon shape. It would have had a Buddha sitting on at that and on this right here. Oh, this is really cool. And then the chetty's back there. And more of the little pedestals here with the remains of the Buddhas. And then you would have had the walkway down to go over here to access the chetties. You can see the grass growing up here. We've got a little statue over here of King Rama V, King Chulalongkorn, and another one of the little Buddhas. Okay, let's look at these 3 chetties back here, and then we'll go over and we'll look at these meditation halls. All right, so these are the 3 auxiliary chetties, or the chetty rai. So that one's bell-shaped right there, and they're running from north to south. That's the south, this is the center, and this is the north. This one would have been bell-shaped also, and this one here would have had the recessed corners. And the whole top of it is missing. And it would have been on the west side of this temple grounds. Okay, so let's go over there and look at those buildings now. Yeah, this is a beautiful little temple. Looks like there would have been another small building over there and a small building over there. And the monk quarters would have probably been over there where that wooden house is at. And maybe over there where that white house is at. Traditionally, in the old days, there was the monk quarters were built on the south side of the temple. And the entrance into it would have been through here. That would have probably been an arch back in the old days. And then there would have been a moat over here. And then the little meditation hall over here. It's kind of funny, last time I came to this temple, some guys were out here digging up worms to go fishing. They were right over here digging them up. But it's really dry now. It was kind of rainy season last time I was over here. Okay, so these are the only buildings like this I've ever seen here in Ayutthaya. These are 2 cylinder-shaped buildings, and it has the lotus bud arches over the doors, and they're 2-story, and they believe these were used for meditation. So somebody would have climbed up in there and they would have sat down and did their meditation thing. And you can see how they have the little dome arch over the top of it. Oh, it's fantastic. It's a great little building. And you see how low that doorway is? Now, I believe the purpose of that was to get you bent over to prepare to pray. You're already in the posture you need to be in, because you got to bend way, way over at the waist just to get in there. And a small little window up at the top of this. And you can see how much plaster and the styling they did on this. Ah, it's fantastic. And this might have been connected with the little walkway across there. That's really cool. And then the locals have came and hung up a swing here on this tree right behind it. And this over here, this is part of the old moat that would have been surrounding the temple. And it's just kind of filled in with junk and stuff like that. And then you can see all those temple buildings and those chetties over there, the chetties here, and then that 2-story building over there that we saw on the other side of the road. Well, that'll finish up our video over here at this grandmother's temple, Wat Chao Ya. This is a cool temple. Like I said, I've been here almost 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago or so, and I wanted to come back over here just to see those little meditation halls, just because it's something that's pretty unique that you don't see anywhere else. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, and you get to see some more stuff like this. I show you things that I find interesting, and this interested me today. And if you've been here, have any questions or comments, ask me down below. And until next time, from over here in Ayutthaya, remember, life is a journey. So until next time, enjoy.